So today we are going to begin with the qualitative properties of these compounds, these solutions. But before that, you need to be clear with the topic of vapor pressure and Raoult's law. So once again, I am here with the vapor pressure and Raoult's law. What is vapor pressure and what are Raoult's law? Raoult's law says that for any solution, the partial vapor pressure of each volatile component in the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. So before knowing this one, you have to know that what is your mole fraction. What is your vapor pressure? So for that, see this. I think everybody can see this pressure cooker here, and above this one ball is there, and that vapor which is coming out due to the pressure of that one, the ball is just rotating in the air. So that is what is vapor pressure. Means the vapor has a pressure which is being exerted on the ball, due to which the ball is just dancing in air. So this is your vapor pressure. Now for this vapor, there was a law which was given by your Raoult. What he said that for any solution, the partial vapor pressure of each volatile component means those component in a solution which are easily evaporatable, they are volatile. Component in the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Mole fraction means the amount in which it is present. The amount in which it is present. That is the mole fraction. Let's see another one here. You see, suppose in a binary solution. Now binary solution means a solution which consists of only two components, one solute and one solvent. So here in a binary solution, if the solvent is denoted by 1 and the solute is denoted by 2, then when the solute is non-volatile, means suppose if we have a solution here in this beaker, in this solution we have solvent and we have solute. Now for the solvent we are denoting it by 1 and for the solute we are denoting it by 2. Now if the solute is non-volatile, means these two things are mixed thoroughly here in the solution and we are evaporating it, now we are boiling it, then if your solute is non-volatile means if the solute does not evaporate easily, then whatever the vapor will come out, that vapor will be of the solvent particles, because my solute is non-volatile. So only the solvent molecules are present in the vapor phase because the solute is non-volatile, and they will only contribute to the vapor pressure. So if P1 is the vapor pressure of the solvent, now when is this P1 vapor pressure of the solvent? When it is mixed with the solute in the solution. Then if P1 is the vapor pressure of the solvent, X1 is the mole fraction, means X1 is the amount of solvent which is present in the solution, and this P01 is the vapor pressure of the solvent in the pure state, means when the solvent is in pure state, not mixed in the solution, then it will have its own vapor pressure. Then according to Raoult's law, how these three things are related? They are related by this thing, like P1, it will be directly proportional to your X1. P1 will be directly proportional to X1, and here your P1 is equal to X1 P1 naught, where this P1 naught is the vapor pressure in the pure state, and this X1, this is the mole fraction, So now with all this, now we will be moving to the colligative properties. So now see what is colligative property. For colligative properties, some properties which depend on the number of solute particles. Now we have to study these properties for a solution. Now solution is equal to solute plus solvent. So these properties, they depend. Suppose if this is a solution, and in this some number of suppose solute particles are there, suppose 2, 3, 4, then these properties, they depend on the amount of the solute which is added to a solvent. So these properties depend on the number of solute particles irrespective of their nature relative to the total number of particles which is present in the solution. And certain properties are there which are dependent on the number of solute which is present in a solution. Now, what are those properties? The first one is relative lowering of your vapor pressure. Next one is your depression of freezing point of the solvent, elevation of boiling point of the solvent, the osmotic pressure of the solution. Now in today's class we will be discussing this three, and this one will leave for the next class. So first of all we will begin with the relative lowering of the vapor pressure. Now what is said that how this amount of solute is dependent on the vapor pressure, means solute के ऊपर किस तरह से किसी भी solution का vapor pressure dependent है. Now we are going to learn about that. Now here it is already said that relative lowering of vapor pressure, मतलब vapor pressure जो है वो कम हो जाएगा, it will lower down. तो देखते हैं how it happens. Relative lowering of vapor pressure. For this we are using a non-volatile solute B, means we are using a solute which is non-volatile, जो easily evaporate नहीं होगा. Next we are using a solvent A. For a solvent A, तो solvent A plus solvent B, solute B, we are preparing a solution. इन दोनों को मिलाकर एक solution बनाया है. And now for this solution we are going to study about the relative lowering of vapor pressure. So let's start. Now what I said that I have taken a solute which is B and a solvent which is A. Then for the vapor pressure, suppose the relationship of vapor pressure, and the mole fraction, as per Raoult's law, is given by, that one was P1 is equal to x1 into P1 naught, means the partial pressure or the vapor pressure which is present in the solution, that will be equal to the mole fraction multiplied by the vapor pressure in the pure state. This is the pure state. This is from your Raoult's law. Suppose let us mark it as equation number 1. Then we have said that there will be a decrease in the vapor pressure, means the value of P1 that will decrease. So if the value of P1 is decreasing, it means that the change in the vapor pressure, that is delta P1, this is the change in the vapor pressure. Now if it is decreasing, तो decrease कितना होगा? In the pure state how much it was? It was P1 naught. In the pure state it was P1 naught minus, in the solution how much it became? P1. So this is the decrease here, P1 naught minus P1. Now from equation 1, what did you see that P1 is equal to x1 and P1 naught? So let's replace it here, P1 naught minus x1 and P1 naught. Now from this, if you take P1 naught common, then you will be left with 1 minus x1, 1 minus x1, where x1 is the mole fraction, and this delta P1, this is the change in the vapor pressure, change in vapor pressure. Now if I am going to mark it as equation number 2, then now we know that the sum of all the mole fraction which is present in a solution, जितने भी mole fraction है, suppose यहाँ पर हमने कितने लिए थे? एक solute लिया है और एक solvent लिया है. Only one we are using, one solute and one solvent. So if the mole fraction of the solute is suppose x2 और solvent का तो हमने x1 लिया है, x1, then by adding these two we should get 1, means the total mole fraction of all the components which is present in a solution, that is always equal to 1. So from this relation, if I am just making a basic rearrangement, क्या होगा? Is equal to 1 minus x1. it means that in place of this 1 minus x1, I can write x2. So this equation will become p1 naught and this x2. So let's mark it as equation number 3. Now I have 3 equations where first one is given as p1 is equal to x1 p1 naught and here it is delta p1. Now just make a basic arrangement kar lo isko. Just bring that p1 naught this side. Then what you will get? Delta p1, sorry this p1 is here, by p1 naught is equal to x2. Now this is your final expression for the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now what was this x2? This x2 was your mole fraction. x2 was your mole fraction. Now how do we calculate the mole fraction, or how do we calculate the mole of any solvent or any solute present in a solution? Suppose if I say that you have been given some 20 gram of NaCl, then if I ask you that you have to calculate that how many moles I have given it to you, then what you do? You have to divide the given mass, that is W, by the molecular mass of the solution of the solute or the substance which is given. अगर मैंने बोला कि मैंने तुम्हें 20 ग्राम NaCl दिया है, then if I am asking that what is the number of mole of NaCl that I have given you, then in that case what you have to do? The given amount you have to divide by the total molecular mass of NaCl. So now here x2 is my mole fraction. तो अब mole fraction कैसे निकालते थे? Mole fraction was determined by number of moles of the substance divided by the total number of moles which is present in the solution. तो हमारे पास solution में कितने components हैं? Only 2. So the mole fraction of x2 will be equal to n2 by n2 plus 1. This is how we are going to find out the mole fraction for x2. It means in place of x2, I can write n2 by n2 plus 1. In place of n2, I can write n2 by n2 plus 1. Now this n2 is number of moles, n was number of moles. So now number of moles is calculated by using the formula W by M, will be capital M, that is your molecular mass, W by M. So in place of N2, if I write W by M, then what it will happen, you see. And now when the number of moles of solute and solvent, when the solute is very means if the solution is very dilute, then what will happen? This N1, it will be very much greater than N2. Then for very dilute solution, what will happen? N1 is very much greater than N2. N1 is very much greater than N2. N1 is very much greater than N2. Then in that case, this expression, this complete expression, this one will reduce to N2 by N1. This will reduce to N2 by N1 because N1 is very much greater than N2. Then now in place of N2, I have to write W2 by M2 because this is how we are going to calculate the number of moles. Similarly for N1 we have to write W1 by M1, and this will be your final expression for the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now what will be that one? I am writing it here. The final expression will be delta P1 by P1 naught is equal to W2 by M2 by W1 by M1, and this is your final expression for your relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now from here, in total you see 6 values are there. Then out of these 6 values, you will be given 5 values and you are asked to calculate any one of them. Means if you are given delta P1 and P1 naught, then W2 M2 is given, then in that case you have to calculate your W1, or you will be given all the other 5 values and you will be asked to calculate M2. Now similarly we have another one, that is your elevation of boiling point. Now here what will happen, that the vapor pressure was lowering down. In case of boiling point, it increases. Then here you can see that if TB naught is the boiling point of pure solvent and TB is the boiling point of the solution, then the increase in boiling point is defined as the elevation of boiling point. Now what is said? Mathematically, the elevation in the boiling point. Now what is said, that there will be a change in the boiling point. Now change in the boiling point में क्या होगा? Solution वाले का boiling point ज़्यादा होगा, because there is a elevation of the boiling point of the solvent. तो जब mix हो गया है, solute and solvent are mixed, solute plus solvent are mixed, then whatever the resultant is there, that will have a higher boiling point. So that is why if TB is the boiling point of solution, तो देखो TB will be greater than TB naught, because if TB naught is the boiling point of the pure solvent, तो जब ये pure solvent में कुछ solute मिल गया है, the boiling point will increase. In that case, the value of TB will be higher. So that is the reason here delta TB is equal to TB minus TB naught, where TB is the boiling point in the solution. This is in the solution, and this is in the pure case. Then the change in the boiling point will be given by delta TB is equal to TB minus TB naught. Another expression you see here. Now we are going to similarly derive it for the just as we derive for the vapor pressure one, we are going to derive for your boiling point also. Now how to start here? Just as we have taken there 2 solutions, so similarly here also we will be taking 2 solutions. So let's start it here. If TB naught is the boiling point, of pure solvent, if TB naught is the boiling point of pure solvent and TB is the boiling point of solution, then you will see that delta TB is equal to TB minus TB naught. Then in other terms, what we can write is that the boiling point, the elevation of the boiling point, मतलब वो boiling point जितना बढ़ेगा, that is directly dependent on the molar concentration of the solute. मतलब the change in the boiling point, this delta TB is directly proportional to your concentration of M. मतलब कितने moles of solute हैं, it is directly dependent on that. जितना ज़्यादा solute, उतना ज़्यादा boiling point. So that is why the change in the boiling point is directly proportional to the molar concentration of the solute in the solution. तो अब हमें इस proportional symbol को हटाना है. तो delta TB is equal to, we use here KBM. Now what is this KB? So this KB is known as boiling point elevation constant, या फिर elevation constant भी कहते हैं, or in some other words it's some like ebullioscopic constant, something with E you can get in your book. So this is that constant here, KB. Now for the formula of M, now we have to replace this M also here, just as we have replaced it there in that N2 we have replaced. In case of N2 we have replaced it by W2 by M2. Similarly here for the molar concentration, that is the molality. Now for this molality also we have to replace it. So molality will be equal to, molality is defined as the amount of solute dissolved in 1000 gram of solute. So molality will be given by W2 by M2 by W1 by 1000. So this is your molality. This is the formula for molality M. Now this M value we have to replace it in the above equation. Then what we will get? Delta TB is equal to KB and W2 into 1000 by W1 into M2. This is it. Now all these things, W1, W2, M2, everything will be given to you. You have to just calculate any of the value which will be unknown. Like here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values are there, and out of 5, 4 values will be given to you, and you have to calculate one value. So we will be doing problems on all these topics. So this is your formula for derivation for the elevation of the boiling point. Similarly, another one is there, another qualitative property is your depression of the freezing point. Now in the first case we saw that the vapor pressure lowers down, then we have seen that the boiling point elevates. Now we will see that there is a depression in the freezing point, मतलब जिस point पे वो बर्फ बनते हैं वो point और कम हो जाता है, it is depressed more. तो देखो, if Tf be the freezing point of the pure solvent Tf naught and Tf be the freezing point, then in these two cases which one will be higher? So Tf जो है here, Tf will be smaller than Tf naught because there is a depression of freezing point. So if Tf naught is of pure solvent and Tf is the freezing point, when a solute is dissolved, then the decrease in freezing point is known as your depression of freezing point. Mathematically, it is also given by change in the freezing point is equal to Tf naught minus Tf. Now just as in the previous cases we have derived those three things, here also we have to derive it again. So यहाँ पर भी it is similar to that one. ये देखो, similar to the elevation of boiling point, the depression of freezing point is also directly proportional to the molality M. मतलब कितने solute डाले गए हैं, what amount of solute is added, it is directly proportional to that one. So here, what was the change in the freezing point? That was your delta Tf. So this delta Tf is directly proportional to your molality. It is directly proportional to your molality. So in the previous case, when we were talking about elevation of boiling point, we have used here Kb. Now here that Kb changes to Kf, and this Kf is known as your cryoscopic constant or freezing point depression constant. Any of these things you can say this is your freezing point depression constant. Freezing point depression constant. Now here also we will have a derivation, just a small derivation, that M was equal to, what is your M? So M was here equal to W2 by M2 by W1 by 1000, W1 by M 1000. Now we have to replace it here. Delta Tf, this will be your delta Tf is equal to Kf, and just simplify it, W2 into 1000 by W1 into M2. This will be your expression for your freezing point constant. And here similarly, just as in all the previous cases, out of the 5 values you will be given 4 values and you have to calculate any one of the values. Now here one question arises that what is W2, what is M2 and what is W1. So always keep in your mind that W2 and M2 they are always related with solute. मतलब ये जो 2 वाले values है ना, ये 2 वाले हमेशा solute के होंगे. This will be always of the solute. और जो 1 वाला है that will be of your solvent in all the cases. तो मतलब W2 will be your given weight of solute. Given weight of solute, and M2 is your molar mass of solute. Molar mass of solute. Molar mass of solute. Suppose if I am giving you an example that suppose 10 gram of NaOH is dissolved in some amount of water, suppose, then in some amount of water, then what will happen? Here this 10 gram is your W2, and for your M2 you have to calculate the molar mass of the given solute, that is your NaOH here. So it will be 23 plus 16 plus 1, that is equal to 40. So here the value of M2 will be equal to 40 units. So as I said in the starting time that I'll be concluding it here. Now it's open for discussion. If you have any question,